Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Coffee Talk. I am Rochelle Dene-Poth. I'm excited today because not only do I just have like one Buncee ambassador, I've got three Buncee ambassadors here with me to join in on this very special Coffee Talk today. And joining us today will be Kristina, Amy, and Barbie, who are going to be sharing with all of our community and educators everywhere an amazing project that they've joined in together and have been working on. And the one thing that I love the most about the Buncee community is the power of connections and how we can, especially now with so many things going on, there is that source of support that we have with one another. And that's something that I believe you'll figure out very quickly when you hear about these amazing projects that our ambassadors have been doing. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to you, Kristina, to tell us a little bit more about what you are working on.
Well, let me go to share the screen, and I'm going to share my screen and go here. And so this is the Buncee Hugs for Heroes that I'm working with Amy and Barbie on, and the whole Buncee community. And basically, I live in New York. And I guess you've heard lately that New York is basically the epicenter. And I have, in my family, I have my sister who works for the railroad, and I have my husband who works for a local utility company. And so they may not be first responders in hospitals, but they are helping hospitals run and helping doctors and nurses and other essential workers get where they need to go. So I started thinking about like how we can come together with, helping out with, our community. And Buncee is actually a local ed tech community. They're about a half an hour away from me. So I started thinking about using Buncee. And I was really inspired by Amy's story. She had a great project, Holiday Hugs. So I'm just going to show you here. This is the blog where you can find the Buncee Hugs for Heroes. And if you want to participate in this project, you can just scroll down here and you can see some examples, and then it gives you directions, and it gives you a link to the Buncee board, which Barbie is going to talk about at the end. So Amy, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to show you the Holiday Hugs, Amy's idea.
Hello, Amy's store. So this was inspired, and that's what I love about this community is so much of what we do is inspired by others. And this was inspired by Michael Drezick's Smiles of Smiles. And it was during the holidays that I had reached out to Marie, and we were visiting about, Christmas pen pals or holiday pen pals. And this idea was just breathed into life based on her and I and our experiences with hospitals and our loved ones. And so we came up with Holiday Hugs from Buncee, where we were going to encourage children and educators to create one-of-a-kind Buncees that told a joke, made others smile, not so much get well soon or well wishes. It was really to extend the holiday hug and to make others smile, especially for those that would be spending their holidays within the four walls of hospitals. And so over 1,000 Buncees later, you can see that kids from all over, even as far as Australia, created Buncees to, like I said, extend the holiday hug. And what was cool about this was the Buncee team actually printed and hand-delivered these to local hospitals in New York. And some of them even hung them up around the halls in the hospitals for children to see. So very cool thing to be a part of, very near and dear to my heart. And I just loved everything about it. And so thankful to be a part of the Buncee family that supported it as well.
So Barbie actually came up with the synergy that goes on when people start, thinking about what they can do. I was reaching out to Amy. Amy had this idea, came from Mike Drezick, and then Barbie popped up with her amazing Buncee board for heroes. So here is Barbie's board, and we're up to 171.
Exactly. Well, and to kind of piggyback on what both Kristen and Amy said, I was actually inspired by Amy's hugs as well. I am a very proud daughter of a retired police chief, so I grew up with knowing how important the first responders are to us. So during the holidays, my students decided to create Buncees for our law enforcement officers after we had played a part in Amy's hugs for the hospital. And so we created Buncee cards that we put on a Buncee board that we shared with law enforcement officers all across the country. So that was breathed right out of that collaboration, which we also had a part in Michael's Miles of Smiles as well. So as you said, Buncee is just a fabulous network of people that brainstorm, bounce ideas off of one another. And even though you don't even know what's going on, they end up collaborating. So with the Zooms, with our distance learning, my students, in one of our morning meetings, we were talking about, or they actually were sharing how they had been impacted by the coronavirus. And quite a few of them have family members in the medical field. So of course, we immediately thought of Buncee as a wonderful way to create cards, digital cards that we could share. And so we created this actual Buncee board, which, as you stated, we're already at, what is it, 100, over 180 something? Is that where we are?
It's a 171, almost 180. We're getting there soon.
171. So when I actually shared this out for the first time, we had 17. And that was, you know, from my class. And when I shared with Marie, Buncee Marie, I had put something out there that that's what my students were going to do when I shared the very first card on the this actual board. There was one, and she immediately responded, "Oh, Amy and Kristen have something in the works. I think you three might want to collaborate." And I'm like, that's all I needed to know. We're in. And so here it is, and they're fabulous. There's some of them that will break your heart. If you scroll down, right there where it says what heroes look like, the turquoise one. Do you see it on the left or my left? That's by one of my students. And when I read it, okay, this is what heroes look like. Thank you, doctors and nurses, especially my dad. We miss you. Love, Charlie. He shared in one of our morning meetings, his dad is, I believe, in the ER. And because of him being on the front lines, when he comes in the house, he's actually in another part of the house. He and his other 3 siblings don't get to see him right now because they're trying to keep the family protected from whatever, you know, he might be bringing in. So it's just heartbreaking. So this is just, I think, a wonderful idea to share with all of these. I love that we've opened it up to everybody, because it's not only the doctors and nurses now. We do have the first responders, the law enforcement, the fire department, the EMT, our grocery store. And I love that Buncee has all of these amazing stickers. I love the superhero ones. And I think most of those are the animations, which are just fabulous. And I love the idea. I had an educator, I believe she's in the New England area now, that saw the blog post and commented on wanting to print these out on cardstock for the few times when she does go out to the grocery store to hand to everybody that she sees. And I thought that's fabulous. You know, all of these people need the love, support, and encouragement because they're helping us all get through this horrible time. So I'm thankful for Buncee. I'm honored and feel blessed to be a part of this initiative. So I thank you for being the initiators of it and allow me to partake in it. So.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say, and I've said this before too, just anytime you see all of them on the board, like even with the holiday hugs, like being added, just the potential for, I mean, not just here in the United States, but on a global scale. I mean, everybody can look at these. We have immersive reader, students, educators, anybody from around the world can create something to share and to put on that board in the language, which before might have been like, oh, I can't create or I can't read. Now we have immersive readers, so anybody can read these and take away. Aside from the fact that, I mean, they're absolutely beautiful when you see what people create, and they're all so different as well. But just having that space where everybody's connecting and you feel like you know, what can I do? And I mean, we're
Right.
really, as us, like we are limited to what we can do to help other people, but coming together and doing something like this, that you're all doing and pushing out there and people are joining in, it is powerful. And it does, you know, I talked to somebody the other day about Buncee, imagine that, and just said like, you know, I find that when I sit down and I create something like this, if I see Barbie, you have a board or somebody else is looking for them, you know, you sit down, it kind of helps you to kind of forget about things for a little bit, and it's relaxing and it's fun. Plus you walk away with like new ideas to use in your classroom and everything. And if you're not sure, you reach out to the community and you have all these connections. So definitely awesome to see these.
Oh, they're fabulous. And the heartfelt message that's behind it, you can feel it when you see them, which I think is another one of the huge, powerful aspects of Buncee. That there's a lot of love and creativity and effort that goes into them, and it's going to make them smile. They're going through such difficult times. Just for that moment, you know, that somebody out there is thinking about them. I just think it's amazing.
I agree with you completely. Yeah, anything else that you would want to share or give anybody information about the project?
Well, I guess if you just Google Buncee blog, and the second blog for now right here is the Hugs for Heroes blog, and that's where you have the information about the project that we're doing. And then we have, if you go scroll down here, you'll see the link to Barbie's board, and then a little bit of information. And if you want to even print out your cards and give it to, if you have a first responder at home, that little boy who made one for his dad, Barbie, he can print it out and he can leave it on the door for his dad when he comes home. So
Great
it's not
idea.
just digital. They could print these out and they could use them. Again, if you want to learn more about Amy's awesome project, the Holiday Hugs, that's also on the blog. It's a wonderful story, and I think I was really inspired by you, Amy. So I want to thank you for that so much, because it really touched my heart. And
Oh, absolutely.
I think the fact that kids can now do something and try to put something, you know, spend their time trying to change the world, I think is really important. I think they feel helpless, and I
Right.
think this empowers them a little bit. So I want to thank all of you, and I'm so thankful that I'm part of this team.
Me too.
Yep, me too.
Absolutely.
Love it. Yeah. All right. Well, that was, I loved as you were scrolling through getting to see all of them, and I can't wait to see how many more will be added. And I definitely need to add more. I love the challenge whenever you have a new board or something's coming up and it like, you get to create and see all the things that are in there for us to choose from. So thank you, the three of you, for taking time today for Coffee Talk. And we look forward to seeing everybody add on their Buncees to the board for our Hugs for Heroes. Thank you.